And last but not least, the third most powerful technique you could use to keep breaking through plateaus is, hey guys, what's going on? Megan here. Alright, today's Monday, so we're going to answer questions on the Reddit related to maximizing muscle growth and myofibular protein synthesis. So I'm going to click here, muscle growth maximization. Alright, and let's pick this question. How do I stop myself from a plateau and keep gaining muscle? Age 13. I laughed so hard when I saw that because I thought you were trolling at first. But if you're really 13, then props to you. You know, I wish I had started this early. Height 6 feet. Lucky motherfucker. Weight 160. Body type skinny, fat, race Indian. I always laugh when I see that. It's like, trust me, you don't need to put your race. It doesn't really tell me anything. Essentially could easily be an outlier. Experienced newbie. Well, you better be a newbie at 13. Like, what the fuck? If you would have put advanced at 13, you know, I would have second guessed that. But anyway, I've been doing full body for quite some time, and I've made some gains, but I've started to plateau nowadays. Since I'm skinny fat, I can't necessarily bulk or cut, so I've been doing a very slight caloric deficit. It works better for me to lose fat. I want to get bigger and have more muscle. Parentheses, lose fat, gain muscle, blah blah blah. What can I do to my diet, workouts, or general routine to really start putting on more muscle and lose my fat? I have fat on my chest, hips, stomach, legs. Added my race just to know if there are any big genetic factors involved. I work out at home. I have a cable machine, squat rack, and bench. I work out 3 to 4 days a week. I do 4 sets of 12 to 16 reps for each exercise. Squats I haven't done this week due to injury. Flat barbell bench press. Standing barbell rows. I can do cable exercises such as lat pull down also, but I like my compound movements a lot, which you should. Standing dumbbell bicep curls, blah blah blah. But anyway, so long story short, I'm just going to focus on this part of your question. How do you stop yourself from plateauing? All right, so not just for you, I'm going to answer this for you, but obviously for everybody else that has a similar question. And this is, again, from experience, guys. Rule number 1. It sounds as simple as possible, but trust me, this is crucial. Rule number 1, injuries. You have, I repeat, you have to reduce the risk of injuries. When I was a teenager, I didn't give a shit about injuries. I thought, you know, every teenager thinks they're immortal, right? We don't look long term when we're teenagers, at least most of us, right? We think short term, short term, short term. And I've accumulated so many injuries throughout the years, right? Because again, I didn't care. I barely did warm-ups. I did a lot of risky exercises. I kept adding weight and weight to the bar because I thought that was the only way to get bigger, was to just keep adding weight, you know, because there was so much misinformation back in the days. And long story short, I piled up so many injuries, right? Left shoulder fucked up, right shoulder fucked up, lower back is toast, left knee, right knee, plus the ankle from the motorcycle. So it's not worth it, right? All these injuries could have easily been avoided, right? So the first thing I would tell you is try to reduce your risk of injuries. And how? Stick to exercises that are worth it, right? You don't have to do free weights all the time, right? Free weight exercises are overrated, right? They have their pros. Trust me, I could list all the pros of free weight exercises, but they also have a lot of cons, right? So do movements that highly reduce your risk of injury. Machines are fine. Cables are fine. I'm no longer a big fan of dumbbells, especially for pressing, right? Because a lot of injuries, not just on myself, but, you know, on a lot of my clients and friends have been doing, you know, heavy dumbbell pressing. Because trust me, as you get stronger and stronger and stronger, you use obviously more and more weight. And that's when you have one bad day of bad sleeping, bad hydration, bad whatever, and then boom, you snap something, right? Yeah, using machines, you know, you're not really using your stabilizer muscles, but in exchange for that, your form is going to be better and you're able to pull out more tension, you know, more mechanical tension on the muscle fibers because there's more stability. So try to use more machines than cables if you can, right? Especially if your goal is hypertrophy, if you don't really care about strength, you don't really care about maximizing your strength, because obviously your strength is going to go up as you build muscle anyway. But if you're not a powerlifter, then you don't have to deadlift. I know that's sacrilegious out there, but you don't have to deadlift, you don't have to squat, you don't have to bench. The reason why I still program those movements is because most people like them. I like them despite my injuries. But if I could go back in time, to be honest, I would just stick to machines and cables. Injuries will set you back so much, trust me, right? Because the time it'll take you just to rehabilitate your injury or even get back to break even, you know, that's a lot of muscle you would have left, you know, that's a lot of gains you're going to leave on the table. right? Most people never get back to where they used to be, right? My bench press has been stuck at 315 for 5 to 6 reps for like 2 years because my left and right shoulder injury just kick in the moment I try to even increase the weight, right? And I have to bounce the weight off my chest every time because my shoulders hurt so fucking bad. And I injured my shoulder back when I was 16. So think about that. Injuries will nag you for a long time, right? Same reason why I can't do rack pulls anymore, my favorite exercise, right? I can't deadlift anymore. I can't even do bent over rows. I have to do chest supported rows, right? Because of a low back injury that I had over 10 years ago. So I could go on and give you so many examples, my friends and other acquaintances who got injured. It's just not worth it. So that's number one. Number two, you only need 3 exercises and stick to those 3 exercises for as long as you can, right? Most muscle groups, small muscles I should say, only need 3 exercises max. And that's pushing it, right? That's max. Some only need 2. Which is why in HSP training you have 3 exercises. You have your heavy lift, your weighted stretch lift, and your pump lift, right? That's all you need. You don't need 6 exercises. You don't need 8, for a small muscle, right? Now, when you're talking about something like back, again, back is not a muscle. Back is a collection of a bunch of muscles. But when I say small muscles, I mean like bicep, tricep, your side delts, your lats, right? You only need 3 exercises max. That obviously train the muscle from a different angle, right? You don't want to do redundant movements. So for each muscle that you want to grow, pick 3 movements and focus on these movements for as long as you can, right? You want to progressively overload on those movements. You want to increase volume on those movements over time, right? Don't flip-flop left and right, because trust me, you're never going to really establish a good mind-muscle connection with the exercise. You're going to have to relearn the movement patterns, and all that shit is going to set you back. So just pick 3 movements that you're comfortable doing, that have a low risk of injury, that put maximum tension on the muscle without obviously, again, increasing the risk for injury, and then simply make those movements your bitch, right? And everyone is different. Everyone's body type is different, so you don't have to just copy and paste what you see. Just pick whatever feels right. That's why I say use the pump as the guide. The pump is the ultimate guide when it comes to finding the best exercise for you. If you can't get a pump, especially on your stretch day, if you're doing HSP training on your stretch day and on your pump day, if you can get a pump doing a movement and you're doing everything else right, you're sleeping right, you're eating right, you whatever, but somehow you get a much better pump on that same muscle with a different exercise, then pick that one, right? Who cares what anybody says online? Pick what feels right for you. Because like I always say, the pump is a sign that you targeting the actual muscle, targeting your fast twitch fibers, and training them to exhaustion. Because that's the only way you're going to get a maximum pump. So that's rule number 2. Just pick 3 movements per muscle, per small muscle, and just focus on those for the rest of your life. Last but not least, mTOR reset. So underrated. You have to mTOR reset. Every 4 to 6 weeks, take a week off, at least a week off. Watch my videos on mTOR reset so I don't, go over too many details, but that's one of the most underrated things that you could do if you want to break through plateau. Every time, me, my clients, my friends, year after year after year, every time we mTOR reset, we come back better, stronger, fresher. Obviously, the first day back, you're going to feel a little weak because you haven't lifted in, at least a week. But your strength is going to blow up like crazy every time, right? Because you're resetting your central nervous system. You're resetting mTOR, obviously, so that's why I call it mTOR reset. You're resetting your androgen receptors. Keep in mind, guys, you can't just keep lifting forever, right? If that was the case, we will all be like the Hulk. We will all walk around. The faster you grow, the faster your body upregulates myostatin and other pathways to make it harder and harder for you to keep growing, right? So you have to detrain. Keep in mind, I'm not saying deloading. You have to detrain, mTOR reset. And every time you come back, you're going to keep breaking plateaus, both in size and strength, right? Let it, right? Take that break. I know it sucks. And trust me, everyone that says, oh man, it's so hard for me to do an mTOR reset. I love the gym. You're not fucking training hard enough, right? Because everybody on my program is begging for mTOR reset. If you're training hard enough with enough weekly volume, enough frequency for a natty to maximize gains, you're going to beg for an mTOR reset. If you could train past 6 weeks without taking an mTOR reset, you'll be training like a bitch, right? Around the 4-week mark, you should be exhausted. And that's with sleeping right, eating right. Right? The body was simply not built to constantly be on the high weekly volume week after week after week after week, which is why growth slows down dramatically past that point. So take a break every 4 to 6 weeks. Usually all my clients, every 4 weeks, they're taking an mTOR reset. And when they come back, they break through plateaus like crazy. right? Give your satellite cells a chance to accumulate, to fuse, and donate myonuclei. Give your mTOR a chance to reset. Give your androgen receptors a chance to resensitize to training, right? Give your joints a chance to recover, right? A chance for your body to lower stress, lower cortisol, blah, blah, blah. Trust me, you will love how you feel after every mTOR reset break, right? Not to mention, you're also going to prevent adrenal burnout and stuff like that and resensitize your dopamine receptors, blah, blah, blah. But long story short, those are my 3 tips. Number 1, avoid injuries at all costs. Number 2, stick to the same movements, about 3 exercises per muscle max, right? Ideally in HSP format. And last but not least, the third most powerful technique you could use to keep breaking through plateaus is utilize mTOR resets. All right, hope this video helps. I'm out of here. All right, guys, don't forget to like or share the video, subscribe and hit the bell, and buy my HSP Nucleus Overload Training Program. It's the ultimate program for maximum muscle growth. It includes full body workout splits, bro splits, push-pull, home workouts, you name it. Also comes with a complete guide for macros, nutrition, fat loss, muscle growth, hormones, including a meal plan. It's pretty much all my 16 years of experience condensed into one fucking book. You're also going to get free copies of any future edition. So visit team3dalpha.com and you can use the 40% off coupon code Nucleus Overload. Or you could just buy the shit at full price. Alright guys, I'm out of here.